News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
News Talk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A murder-suicide takes a family of 5 near Deer Lodge. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Monday, June the 8th, 2015. Sky is clear. It's a beautiful morning in western Montana, and we are expecting record highs today. So we'll tell you more about that later on in our newscast. Right now, it's clear and 56 degrees in Missoula. This news sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. For the best of western Montana living, call 777-5387. Our news partners at NBC Montana are reporting that authorities in Anaconda-Deer Lodge County say a family of 5 is dead after a fatal shooting and suicide Sunday outside Deer Lodge. Officials confirmed that a man killed his wife and 3 children Sunday at a cabin located about 15 miles southeast of Deer Lodge. Investigators say the man then set the cabin on fire before turning the gun on himself. We'll get more details as they become available to us. On Friday, here in Missoula, the Missoula County Sheriff's Department responded to a shooting incident at a residence off Highway 200 in East Missoula, in which one man was killed and another was wounded. Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett provides details.
As of Saturday, the Missoula County coroner confirmed that 58-year-old Dennis Wilson died in that shooting. As of right now, detectives are still doing interviews, and they'll continue that throughout the weekend. They haven't made any arrests. There was a gentleman who they questioned yesterday, and he's since been released.
Bassett relayed a request from the detectives investigating the fatal shooting.
We're asking if any residents or somebody that you know stopped by the yard sale at 3985 Highway 200 on the morning or afternoon of Friday, June 5th, that they please contact the Sheriff's Office at 258-4810 and request to talk to Detective John Gunther or Jared Cochran. Bassett
said the incident is still under investigation. A Canadian man is facing a felony drug charge after a Montana Highway Patrol trooper said he found about 100 pounds of cocaine in the man's pickup truck during a routine traffic stop. Deputy Lake County Attorney James Lepopka says 22-year-old Miguel Douglas Miranda of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, was charged Friday with 1 count of criminal possession of dangerous drugs with intent to distribute. Kerr AM and Jeff Smith reports that Miranda was pulled over by the Highway Patrol about 8 o'clock Thursday night for a mud flap violation near St. Ignatius. An officer found the cocaine, estimated to be worth about $1.5 million, in a hidden compartment. And Miranda is being held on $1 million bail. Another drug report: an Oregon man, 21-year-old Francisco Gutierrez, appeared in Missoula Justice Court Friday, charged with 3 felony drug charges involving the sale and distribution of methamphetamine and heroin. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Mac Bloom asked Judge Murray Anderson for bail of $20,000.
The defendant was charged with attempting to distribute large quantities of methamphetamine and heroin. I do not have a criminal history here, but given the nature of the charges and the fact that the defendant is not from Missoula, the state believes that he poses a risk to the community and is a flight risk.
Now, according to court documents, Gutierrez was arrested in the company of a woman who had an 8-year-old child. The child was strapped into a car seat of a 1996 Honda. After obtaining a search warrant, officers located 4 screws on the back of the car seat. After removing the screws inside the car seat, they found a plastic bag containing a full pound of methamphetamine, along with a smaller baggie containing heroin. The child had been sitting on it the whole time. Judge Anderson set bail at $15,000. Missoula Police Department is looking for a woman who's a suspect to theft at Sportsman's Warehouse on Reserve Street. Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
On April 25th, a female entered a sporting goods store on Reserve Street, and she was intending to make purchases with a large denomination bill. While the exchange was happening, the woman reached into the cash register in an attempt to help the clerk make change and withdrew some cash.
Welsh says at one point it appeared the woman put the cash back. However, when the tills were closed that evening, clerks found the woman had in fact taken money she originally grabbed. A similar case of theft has also been confirmed in Idaho with a woman resembling that of the Sportsman's Warehouse thief.
We were aware of that information also, and in the process of contacting authorities in Idaho to share information and identify if in fact this is the same person and maybe see what they can tell us that might help us identify this woman.
Anybody with information has to call Crime Stoppers at number 721-4444. The Institute for Tourism and Recreation Research at the University of Montana reports that non-resident travelers made a significant impact on Montana's economy last year, according to a recently completed study. Institute Director Norman Nickerson has the numbers.
They actually dropped about $3.9 billion in the state of Montana in 2014. That's almost 11 million total travelers that came to the state. And those travelers, as you know, can be anything from coming here for a vacation to visiting you and I to shopping, business, passing through. Nickerson
says one part of the study was that especially heartening was to see that a large majority of visitors said they were well treated in Montana and plan to return.
About 90% of the people say they're going to return in the next 2 years. And that's pretty amazing when you think about it. There will always be people who this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and they just don't envision themselves coming back. But in general, they're going to come back.
Nickerson pointed out that the number of individual visitors actually decreased by 1%, while revenue increased by 1%. In addition, there were fewer larger groups, but more couples visiting the state in 2014. The Montana State Veterans Cemetery no longer allows most graveside services because of safety and liability concerns. Montana Veterans Affairs Division Administrator Joe Foster says the cemetery's new committal shelter is being used for most services. Foster told the Independent Record exceptions are made for spiritual or exceptional circumstances. The policy now is that services are held in the committal shelter, and then the casket or urn is taken to where the grave has been opened, awaiting the remains. Families are not allowed access to the grave until the burial is complete and the grave is presentable. Committal shelter services are being used in Helena and here in Missoula, while graveside services still take place in Miles City, which does not have a committal shelter. Heavy rainfall has caused some flash flooding in parts of Webo, Prairie, and Dawson counties in eastern Montana. The National Weather Service reported lowland flooding along rivers and streams in the Yellowstone River Valley on Saturday morning. Speaking of the weather, Missoula and western Montana are expecting record high temperatures today, possibly again tomorrow. Meteorologist Ryan Leach with the National Weather Service office in Missoula has details.
We've got a forecast high of 93 today in Missoula. The old record was 90 degrees set back in 1996. And for Kalispell, well, actually, we do have a record high there. We have 89 as the record there set in 1948, and we're forecasting 91s.
While forecasters are predicting a slight chance of afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Ample sunshine and very warm today as we climb into the mid to low 90s. Winds will be breezy this afternoon with wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with our lows in the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.